guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to give you 3 signs, 3 non-obvious signs to be specific, to let you know that you are actually healing those wounds that you are set out to heal. And what wounds am I talking about? I'm talking about the shadow work that we're doing to improve ourselves. Now, I have made other videos that talked about 5 signs that your brain is healing from narcissistic abuse and just general signs that you are healing from narcissistic abuse. You should definitely check those videos out as well. I'll link them in the description. Just give me a few minutes after I upload them to do so, okay? But 3 non-obvious signs that you are actually healing those wounds. Number 1, you're feeling a lot of pain and discomfort. You're like, wait a minute, what? Yes, because to, heal these dark places, we have to go into those dark places. And, if this is new to us, meaning we've been repressing it and we haven't been in touch with it, it's not going to feel comfortable and painful, or else why were we pushing it down? Why weren't we acknowledging it? There was something about it that was painful and hurtful to us that we were, running away from it. But now that we're moving towards it, this can be painful, and certainly you're going to feel discomfort because you're addressing it. Just think of a wound that you have on your knee. When it's fresh, you've scraped your knee, it's pink, right? And that's pretty raw. But we have to do things to protect it. If we're going to be addressing it, right, we're going to disinfect it. But that alcohol we poured on there is going to burn and sting, right? The peroxide, the neosporin, the bandage that we put on it. And then, we're going to have to put a clean bandage on it every so often. The same thing when we're addressing, say, these childhood wounds and our shadow work, basically, it's pretty raw at first. So if you are feeling discomfort and pain, that is a sign. That's a possible sign that you are, addressing this wound and you're actually making progress. All right. Number 2 on here, I have you're not hiding and you're open about it. Our shadow work are the things that we like to keep hidden. But as we get closer to our shadow work, as we basically stepping into acceptance, because that's what we're talking about with, not hiding it and being open about it. We're accepting it as a part of us. Even if it's something that we're going to heal, it's a part of us right now. Okay. So as we accept that we have flaws, because some of us are perfectionists and we don't want to accept that about ourselves. But human beings have flaws. But some of us are very hard on ourselves for having the perceived flaws, And we try to hide this from other people, and mainly we're hiding it from ourselves. So once we actually making progress in healing our wounds, we're no longer hiding it, because if it's hidden, how are we even addressing it? Okay. So once you're not hiding it, particularly from yourself, this is a sure sign, of course, that you are actually on a way to healing these wounds, okay? And then, once you're able to even share this with other people, because you're going to have to be able to share it with yourself before you open the floodgate to, bringing other people into it. So once you stepped into acceptance and you're not hiding it, this is a sign that you are healing those wounds, if not already healed, but it is a sign, okay? And number 3 on here, I have we are letting go of toxic shame and guilt. So we have to understand what shame and guilt are. So basically, shame, toxic shame, is an indication of being bad, of a person feeling like they're but being a bad person. Okay. And the guilt, on the other hand, is a symptom of a person feel like they're doing bad. So, when we think about these wounds that we were hiding and running away from, a lot of times there's going to be a toxic shame, and even more deeper, chronically, or basically on a chronicle level, guys. All right, because toxic shame basically speaks to a person feeling unworthy and inadequate. All right, and it could be stemming from, because I have this issue to resolve within myself. It makes me feel shameful. And that means I'm a bad person. You know, it's that inability to separate doing bad from being bad. That's what shame is dealing with, guys. So as we begin to heal our womb, we're able to say, okay, well, yeah, I have this shadow aspect of myself, but it doesn't make me a bad person. I'm still a good person. I just have some things to work on, you know, and we're not, because we're often the hardest on ourselves, but we're not like nailing ourselves to the cross because of it. Instead, you know, we're going to roll up our sleeves and I'm going to work on this, but it doesn't have to make me a bad person. All right. So basically there's a shift in perception once we are getting into that aspect of getting rid of the toxic shame and the guilt. All right. So, you know, guys, those are the three things. Those are the three things. You're going to be feeling some pain and discomfort, because this is what happens when we're growing anyway. When we're growing and we're going to the next level, and that's why they say growing pains. Yeah, it can be discomfort, and especially because human beings, we resist against change oftentimes. All right. And especially the kind of change that challenges us to go within the depths of our souls, or, you know, enter into little spaces and places inside of us that we just kind of, you know, we were kind of running away from. All right. So yes, you're going to feel some pain and discomfort. You will move into a space of acceptance. All right. Where you're not hiding this from yourself and or other people, but particularly from yourself. All right. And then you are releasing the toxic shame and the guilt that you attached to this flaw or to this shadow work or to this aspect of yourself that you want to heal. Okay. So, you know, it's very important. It's very important to release that toxic shame and guilt. I might need to do a video just on shame and just really like in-depthly talk about that with survivors, because it's something to really understand, you know, because it certainly is the root of low self-esteem. It's feeling shameful, you know, and that shame is, you know, rooted in basically you comparing yourself to your standards. You know, shame is rooted in our standards for ourselves. And then when we feel like we can't reach them or we haven't reached them, we feel that shame. But it gets a little deeper than that, because even the shame off of our own standards is still rooted in something that we learned, guys. You know, something that we were programmed, you know, based off of the society and the household that we grew up in, and what was socially acceptable. And whatever the society is that you live in, that's what we're forming. We're forming these ideas about, you know, what's normal and what's acceptable. And then when we feel like we're not reaching them, then we're growing that shame. Okay. So, you know, I definitely don't want any of you to be struggling with feeling like you're being bad and not being able to separate, you know, me needing to work on something, an aspect of myself, and just, oh, I'm just a bad person. You know, the narcissist actually struggles with that. And that's why they keep creating these false masks. Number one, they don't even want to face their shadow work, but they feel chronically bad. They feel chronically bad. All right. But the good news is you can at least, you know, you're receptive to wanting to do this shadow work. So you have the opportunity to go ahead and make that shift and that change for yourself. All right. So I hope that these 3 non-obvious ways have helped someone, you know, start to measure and gauge, you know, am I actually healing these wounds? Yes. If you're feeling the worst pain of your life because you're rolling up your sleeves and you're, you know, trying to fix the toxic aspects of yourself, if you're stepping into acceptance, you're no longer hiding that aspect or trying to repress it and run from it, if you're letting go of toxic shame and guilt that you've attached to it, Those are 3 wonderful signs that you are well on your way, guys. All right. And if you need help with this aspect of yourself, feel free to reach out to me. I do offer coaching, guys. I do typically 1-hour voice calls. I do Skype and I do FaceTime. People get results with me from the first session. I'm going to just disclose that. There's no one that can say that they've had a session with me and they're not miles ahead of where they were before the session started. So I highly recommend coaching. It's a great investment into yourself. You can go to my website, LakiaCrawford.com, to schedule your appointment, or you can just reach out to me, email me, CoachLakia@gmail.com. Hit me up on social media. A lot of people like to have a little conversation with me as they're scheduling their appointment. And that's fine as well. All right, so with that being said, guys, I have the support group on Facebook, Lakia Reflection and Progression Crawford. All right, just that is under all the videos. You hit the link, inbox me, let me know you're a survivor, and voila, you're on the group. I've written 4 therapeutic books, guys. They're available through my website, LakiaCrawford.com. You can get signed copies when you order them through my website. Other than that, they are still available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, CreateSpace.com, the ebook format, and the hard copies, but those will not be signed. All right. Other than that, guys, just keep doing the work. You know, a reward is certainly waiting on the other end. You know, if you want to be brave enough, you want to love yourself enough to go ahead and take the opportunity. Take the opportunity. All right. All right, guys. Until next time, what do I always say? Take care, guys.